everyone, John Henry here, slingshotfutures.com, and welcome to the Daily Market Mindset, where we take a look at the psychology behind the moves today so we better understand it tomorrow. Today we're taking a look at crude oil, and man, oh man, what a bear move on crude oil. Overall, we started off the day with a fairly strong spike higher, and it didn't really go anywhere. It completely fell apart afterward, just went sideways and started dipping lower. It could be a clue that we're dealing with a no news or very small amount of news type day where we're just going to be a little more range bound, not a whole lot going on. But when the buyers had their chance to spike it back up to a new high, forming that range, they never showed up to the party. We ended up having a huge amount of range-bound movement from 2100 last night until right around we broke out just before 3 o'clock. So with that big kind of just range-bound movement and the buyers not showing up to form the range, we break down again. And now we're starting to get a clue that we may be in a slightly bigger type of bear trend. We're dealing with sellers coming in very aggressively and trying to drive the market lower. There's actually a new potential sell right there. The market is very heavy. So now we switch gears from, okay, we're range-bound, buy low, sell high, stay out of the middle, to we're in sell mode. We're looking for a correction, and then we're going to sell into it pretty aggressively. So we get that correction. We come in at 8 o'clock, which is when we open up the live trade room, and we are in this corrective phase. We have the corrective phase coming up. There's a small little bull channel working its way higher. They tried breaking down. It failed, and that could be the attempt for the buyers to push back into brand new highs. But once they get to those highs, they completely fall flat on their face, right? They try to break up, it completely fails and shuts down, goes back down to the lows, and that's also the earlier area of structure that was, at that point in time, support. After we broke down, it ended up acting as resistance, and that's a nice reason to become a seller, to shove the market right back down again. Now, that is a little bit early to the party, and you know how I feel about being early to the party. So waiting a little bit more, we get some good bearish continuation to the downside. The buyers try coming in, and they fall flat on their face once again, and that's a beautiful secondary reason to jump in to try to drive the market back lower. Now that's when things start getting really interesting, because now things start picking up. We start getting a huge spike to the downside, and we are now continuing our bear trend. So with that bear trend to the downside, in firm play, especially with some heavy selling pressure, we get a shallow bull bounce, absolutely no strength in that candle. It follows itself up with a very strong bull bar and immediately reverses down. So what this effectively did is it popped up, it hit the trapping area at the highs, got the buyers involved, and turned right back down again. They didn't see an ounce of profitability before it spiked right back down in their face. So the fact that they were met with immediate selling pressure, that becomes another reason to drive the market lower as a seller and continue the market momentum to the downside. And now, just recently, even though we are going into the lunchtime session, we have a nice bull attempt to the upside. It fell flat on its face again. I don't want to be the first one to the party. It turns down, buyers try coming in, they turn down again. Excessive selling pressure, once again expected to break through the lows and continue that bear trend lower. So just a great example of being patient, waiting for the reason to jump in on the sell side, and then jumping in, right? Don't be first to the party. Don't come in early. Wait for the reason and then jump on board, and you have yourself a very nice day of trading. So that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you found it useful, interesting, and entertaining, and we'll see you all next time.